Hey everybody, we're here with Stephanie. Stephanie is a long resident of Dallas. She's here to tell her story. Uh, we need everybody to come together and help us give her closure and help us find out what we can do to get this case open again, so we can help a mother find her daughter. Stephanie, tell me a little bit about you. Where are you from?
I'm from Oak Cliff.
From Oak Cliff.
hmm
How long have you lived here in Dallas?
My whole life.
Okay, cool, cool. Where part of Oak Cliff are you from?
Keys and Conquer Hill.
Oh, you're from the hood. Okay, cool,
hmm
cool. So let me ask you something, Stephanie. Tell me a little bit about yourself, but background. Where where you? I know where you grew up. How old were you when you first had your first child?
So I was from Oak Cliff, but then um, we got busted and had to move to North Dallas,
Okay.
Maple, my grandma's house, and um, it was crazy because we were all stuffed in like a room, and my parents were always away, so I did whatever I wanted, and I wound up having a baby at 14, and I still had to go to school and take care of her too. But things were happening in my family that changed the way we lived, so my family split up.
hmm
And I was going to school at North Dallas, and then I would go to Oak Cliff on the weekends to see my baby.
So growing up as I would imagine single parent. Growing
hmm
up as a single parent with a teenager still growing up. Tell me a little bit about that. How was that lifestyle? How did you manage that?
it was hard at first because my mom was she was not happy with it, so she was like giving putting pressure on me like to do the right thing and stay in school and get a job too. So it was hard to juggle all that. I had to be responsible and see all my friends, doing what they wanted to do, and I had to, go wash a bathtub for my baby, and help my mom. And I was still a kid too, though.
Yeah, I would imagine that was pretty hard growing up, seeing all your friends, that didn't have kids going out, and you had to stay home with your kid and work. I can relate a little bit to that.
hmm
Growing up. Tell me a little bit about how you struggled with your child and the education you gave your child while you were, you put her in like kindergarten and you put her in, tell me a little bit about how was she growing up?
So she was like really quiet,
What school
and
did she go to?
she went to LP Coward.
Okay.
She was there in Oak Cliff, and she was straight A student. She was a spelling bee champ. She was like always the biggest kid because she was real tall, and she was kind of like quiet, too afraid to talk. She wouldn't say much, and she started playing soccer. She was on the
She was
soccer
an
team.
athlete. She was an athlete.
Yes, she was. She was not like naturally at it, so it took her a long time to get coordinated, and but she didn't give up, and she carried that into her school, high school and all that. She was on the volleyball team, soccer team, and she used that a lot to, I guess, to show herself through. hmm
Nice. When excuse me, when 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 did she start showing like issues, like when she started wanting to hang out with her friends? At what age did she want to go to little parties and
So she's has cousins that are about her age. My cousin Hopi's kids
oh, okay.
are her age, and they went to school together, and so they were all going out. Angela would go with her best friend, and she would go here and there, but she mostly didn't, And so that night she asked to go. She was celebrating a victory for her volleyball game.
So it was a school event?
Well, no, they won, and they were just friends hanging out,
Oh, okay, just friends,
celebrating.
friends
Yeah.
hanging around. Okay, neighborhood kids just playing around
hmm
because. Okay,
Yeah.
tell me a little bit more about that. What do you remember about that night?
Um,
What
I
was she
remember.
wearing? Do you remember that?
No,
No. Okay.
no.
Now again, let me ask you a question. What year was this?
2010.
2010. This was 2010.
It was January
January
2010, beginning of
2010.
the year.
Do you remember the date? What day?
It was Saturday.
It was Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay, it was on a Saturday, so she goes out and she comes to you and asks you if she can go to this volleyball game, correct?
Well, they had played volleyball that day and won, and so she was gonna go like celebrate her victory.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, and it was at a friend's house that was close to the school, and they were
So
there.
this friend that was close to the school, do you remember his name? Maybe do you know his name? I mean, the reason I ask because there might be people that see this video and say, "Hey, I remember that," or "I remember something that happened there," or "I remember something small that maybe we can use to get this populating going." Do you
What was
remember?
his name?
Was it Gustavo?
No,
Buster?
no, the one that lived right there on.
Buster Park?
Yeah,
Eddie.
Eddie. It was Eddie Reyes.
Eddie Reyes, okay.
Yes, and it was a nice house. It was like a dead end street, and I had took her there before and let her hang out. She said they had a big game room where the kids would all go and hang out, and she was there with her best friend, and her best friend's mom didn't let her go out a lot, so the two of them together, you know, was okay. So she was there and she was undecisive if she was going to go or not, and then she decided she was going to go. So I remember I was babysitting that night and I was putting the baby down when she was walking out, because usually I would walk her out and tell the person that she was with, you know, like I see you, you know, and like
Watch her.
take care of my baby, you know. And that night I didn't get to do that, so that haunts me, you know.
If you can go back to that day, what would be the last words you would say to her?
Don't go.
Tell me more. What happened next?
So she goes and she texted me about 1 o'clock, and she said, "Can I spend the night with her best friend, Ala?" And I said, "Yeah." So you know, I let her stay the night.
But then again, you let her stay because you and her mom were both on the same page where she could stay. You know, she couldn't spend the night anywhere else other than it was there with them, right?
Right.
Okay,
Right.
so you guys are both on the same page. You know, because people are gonna ask, they're gonna say, "Well, why did she let her spend the night at 1 o'clock in the morning?" If you trusted this family, you trusted them, you know,
Right.
it would be okay. You know, like
Right.
I get it because I know people are gonna ask that, and then that way we tell them straight out, "Hey, she was with almost family, correct?"
Right.
Okay.
Right. Right. They were really close
Okay.
because they went to school since little kids for, you know.
Okay. And then so she texts you at 1 o'clock in the morning.
And so I told her, she could spend the night, you know, stay with her. And she did the night before. So in the morning when I woke up, I texted her to see what time she was coming home. And I didn't get a response. And so then I was like, you know, maybe she's playing a game or she's not, you know. So I texted her again and I called her and I didn't get an answer or no reply. So I called the best friend and she said that Angela wasn't going to spend the night with her. And so then I was like, you know what? You know, my heart fell then, and I knew something was wrong then.
So when the little girl tells you she didn't spend the night here, what did you ask her? Where did she go? Who was she with? Did you ask her?
I was like, you know, what do you mean? You know, like I just was like shocked, and she was like, no, you know, my mom came pick me up. Angela stayed there, and she was like, that's all she knew about it.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So she basically didn't have no information. No, who she stayed with. She didn't stay there. You know, she didn't say anything.
Mm-mm.
What was your next steps?
So I just like started calling my daughter's phone again. You know, try to get something. You know, and I didn't get anything. So I called the police.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't report somebody missing until 72 hours.
Correct. Did you go to the house where supposedly the party was at?
Yes.
Yeah, you did.
Uh-huh.
What did you see there? You didn't see anything
Can
there?
I take a break? My ear just
Yeah.
popped real quick. Hold on.